gentlemen, sinners, saints, put your drinks down for half a second. Light whatever you brought with you. Cigars, smokes, joints, coffee, whiskey. I don't judge. You didn't come here for fairy tales. You came for truth, steel, and motor oil. This ain't clickbait. This ain't influencer nonsense. This is real biker news told by a man who's lived it, seen it, and survived it. From the streets to the clubhouse, from the old guard to the new blood. Welcome to Biker News Canada. And the man behind the curtain, the voice they don't want quiet, the pen that wrote playpen, the mind that never shut off, Bob Jarvie. So sit back, let the truth hit harder than a straight pipe at midnight. And remember, once you hear it here, you can't unhear it. Now here is Bob.
TikTok world, and in YouTube world, and in Facebook world. How's everyone out there? Super Bowl Sunday, doing a show for you guys who say, fuck that football business. At least that's what I say normally most years, unless I might like a team that's playing, or unless I might like who they're doing at the halftime. Other than that, I could give a fuck about football, especially this year. Don't care about nothing except for trying to get a bike back on the road and doing this channel and making it better and bigger and all that good stuff. So anyways, I asked, you guys responded. I appreciate it. Here we are. We're going to do a Sunday show. So our only decision, I think we'll make it together. Do you want to do a Sunday night Canadian politics show, which there's not really anything exciting in politics to talk about. I was going to talk about Carney and sucking up to China and whatever, and the EV problem, or why they're even fucking doing this with EVs. Let the consumer decide, dummies. Anyways, or do you guys just want to talk about a cool old Canadian crime story from back in the day? I got one already ready for us about the head of the biker unit back in the days of the war and the Montboucher days and all that shit. And it turned out he was fucking feeding info to the Angels the whole time. So after all the arrests and all the bullshit and all the investigations, well, he knew that those investigations, he's in them. So at the end of it, he kind of ate his own thing and kaboom and ended it right there and then. So we can talk about that story. That's pretty much the story in a nutshell. Or we can just fly by our ass, whatever it takes. I don't care. We got Tavy in the house. How are you tonight, brother? Good to see you. Saw you over at Staxy's this afternoon. I thought he was doing a show about Harley, but he was talking about those Vagos and stuff. My Marine Ranger, good to see you tonight. Awesome, he's tuned in. Frank, good to see you, brother. And we got Paul's in the house. Good to see you, brother. And No Grow, how are you guys, man? Who do we got over here in the Tiki Talkie? We got Jeffrey. We got Kev Storm. We got Joe Mama. We got Jessica, Toto, Tyson. And thanks all you guys. Dale, Amy, bunch of you people on the TikTok side. Awesome. Thank you all for jumping in there and checking it out. So what do you guys think? Some before we get going, let's remind everyone, if you're doing an event this year, or you're doing some support gear, or you want to just kind of open a business, a t-shirt shop, get a hold of this company, Dirty Dog Embroidery. You'll find him on Facebook, and he's also got his own YouTube channel. So go find him on YouTube and give him a subscribe and all that stuff. And he's got the embroidery machines that go fast as lightning. They can make all the ball caps, t-shirts, all the swag you want. Does like, look at that, backpacks, coats. And I think he's got a new machine in that now he can do tumblers and like beer cups and like these fucking things, travel cups. That's what they're called. These things, yeah. So, anyways, give a call. Tell him Bob sent you, and ask him about hooking you up and doing drop ship for you. So it's basically all the same stuff you get from one of those websites without having to sign up to one of those websites. So there we go. And I'm waiting for your call, brother. We're getting a website for Biker News Canada hooked up here, and like I say, we're gonna do the Harley raffles through that and all that stuff. So I can't wait till it's active. I'm hoping next week. Let's see how it goes. Of course, it's somebody offshore doing the website, so there's time differences and language things and whatever, right? But he knows the gist of it, and he's cheap. So it is what it is. Gyro Lamb's in the house. Good to see you tonight, bro. Bruce came by. Good to see you, Bruce. Hope you're staying warm out there. Hello, Kevin. Good to see you tonight, too, bro. And plus 1.5 in the saddles. Sped like a mofo. Springs Hero West, you fucker. Oh, you got Kid Rock, eh? Fucking Kid Rock. Is he being all American? Or is he singing about statutory again? I can't fucking believe they dug that old song up. No, and you got Bad Bunny prancing around like a mad goat. Fucking awesome. I still bet you Santana's gonna come on with Bad Bunny. I bet you. That's why I'm watching the All American. No, that's funny. Got a little outdoor fire going, drinking beer. Sun's going down. That's not a bad way to wrap up your day, bro. Fuck, you're right. You got Grant's in the house. Thanks for popping in, Grant. Always a pleasure, my man. All right, so what do you guys think? I think we're going to do that story about that cop because we had the big story about the Toronto cops and they were being greasy and they got caught. And always makes me laugh when a copper gets caught doing things he's supposed to arrest other people for doing. All right, what the fuck's going on here? Why are you stressing me out? There we go. Because I wrote the story the other day, and then I didn't do a show. So I have the story already ready. So what was the cop's name? Sorge or something like that? This was such a big story in Canada. It made they made a show on it on our version of 60 Minutes, the CBC one. What's it called? Fuck. What's it called now? I know Marketplace, but it's not Marketplace. There's W5 on the one channel, and there's it's not Fifth Estate. So they did a whole Fifth Estate story about this back when it happened. Bruce, minus 35 where you are. I thought you were in the Hammer, bro. Oh, no, you're not in the Hammer. I was just out earlier today. It was only like minus 12 or 13. Anything minus double digits is too cold for my ass. I don't dig it. So Satan's Choice has a chapter in Calgary now, North Side. Oh, there you go. They're doing their thing, man. Peel Region also. They're doing their thing. They said they would. Bob, you got to come out here to BC. I know, man. I know I got to come out there. All those things I like. I tell you, last time I went to BC, when I came back, my intention was to come back for 1 week and wrap up my shit in Ontario and move the fuck out there. And I ended up hooking up with some broad. And, you know, that little fucking thing between their legs changes so many of my men's plans. And that's how it went down. Then I'm at the club and then blah, blah, blah. And here we are. Kurt's in the house. Good to see him tonight, brother. Hope you're doing well up there. Just keep it warm up there, brother. It's fucking freezing. There will be lots more cops charged. Yeah, I bet you. Because that was a big, you know, I know I'm arguing with the Real Truth guy about this thing, but that was a big investigation that they just wrapped up in Quebec and in the Maritimes. Now, of course, they've been having this beef with the BFM for ages, right? And everyone knows that beefs like that bring monstrous fucking heat. Like look at what that the war with the rock machine. There's a fucking slew of guys, and like they're all just getting out nowadays, right? Or not nowadays. A few years ago, but you know what I mean. Like they did their time. So yeah, and they find that out a lot of times. That club has a way of getting cops fucking dirty. There's only three ways to get a cop dirty, and no cop that I've ever met in Ontario, maybe in Toronto, yeah, in Toronto, but like in my city, not a fucking chance, bro, not a chance. It's either they're gamblers, so you get them at the poker table and you lend them money, or girls, or Hong Kong. You know what I mean? And usually it's girls in Hong Kong kind of together. They had the one case of the cop in London, and an underage escort had him charged for, for some bad things they can't see on YouTube, unfortunately. But it was crazy, man. And he held her in his house and said, "I'm going to do this to you, and I'm not going to pay you." He called her off the fucking thing, and she came, or she arrived, and he said, "Then my buddy's going to blah, 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 and he ain't going to pay you. And there ain't nothing you're going to say because I'm a fucking copperino." He flashed his badge. So the next morning, she fucking said, "Fuck all that," and went and told his fucking bosses. Jeffrey something was it? I can't remember. Oh, the wind chill. Yeah, you guys are on the lake. Yeah. We're between the two lakes. +6 in the sunshine in BC, bro. Sounds fucking right to me. Oh, Pure Region cops are in charge now. Oh, that's interesting. Because usually them guys are pretty fucking by the book kind of a department. Yeah, it is freezing, Kurt. There's no way around it, man. I heard after Tuesday though, we're getting like minus whatevers and -6s, -5s, and it might be like that till the spring. So let's hope so. I'm fucking right. Like I say, no, girl, you're pitching a good fucking sales pitch there. Everything that you're talking about is right up my alley, bro. That's like, do like Bruce says, hit that like button before you forget. Make sure you get that thing. 200K on the bike today. Wow, good for you. You're in Calgary, right? 200K, that ain't bad, eh? See, these bikes last forever. They're pretty much fucking bulletproof. Fuck that. No department is truly by the book. Yeah, I know that. They just don't get caught at it as much, so it's not in the press, so we don't know about it as much. I bet you there's a lot more shit going on than we'll ever hear about. -22 where you are, a road dog. Oh yeah, you're north, eh? Owen Sound from Kawartha. So yeah, you stayed in all the cold regions. Fuck yeah, right on, bro. I'm glad you're listening to us while you're doing the road thing. Yeah, it's Canada. Fucking, we do this every year, and you're on Vancouver Island, BC. Okay. And no, girl, where are you at? No, girl, you more inland? No, I think so. Yeah, we just got to figure out, get it going, right? So, and we got some plans in motion for getting that together. All right, so let's do this quick story. We got Cole in the house down there. Joseph, good to see you guys. Zach, Coach, Joel, Mary, right on, man. Mike, thanks for popping in, dudes. Okay, so we'll do this story out of like Montreal back in the day. So, like I say, the laws between the criminals and the coppers pretty much got eviscerated. It wasn't just blurred; it was fucking erased. So the copper's name was Daniel Sorge, is what I dug up on the old Google machine. A police officer trusted with sensitive intelligence who secretly fed info to the Hells Angels during one of the bloodiest criminal wars in Canadian history. It's got to be the bloodiest Canadian gang, club, biker, whatever the fuck they want to call it thing. And when the war turned and the walls finally closed in, he didn't face the courtroom. Yeah, he faced himself. So by the mid-1990s, Quebec was at war, not metaphorically, not politically, literally. The Hells Angels, led by Maurice Mambouche, were fighting the Rock Machine for control of various illicit activities, and just because territory, right? Car bombs, assassinations, drive-bys, a lot of bombs in that war. That was one thing I do remember. A lot of bombs. I remember because I was just getting around the club scene when that thing was going on, and they were talking about guys from one outfit. They were driving to plant something at the other guy's place, and it went off while they were moving it, and they got taken. Like, unbelievable. Just a lot of funerals, man. 160 people, over 160 people. So, and then they tried to take out that one guy from the newspaper. They took out that prison guard. I don't even know really what the plan was for that. To say don't screw with our guys when they're in there. Prison guards know better. And then finally, when that Jeep blew up and that kid going to school got hit and he died. That was the end of it. The cops had to say, okay, boys, that's a whole enough of all this stuff. And that kid will, fuck, man. Imagine being his parents, man. Let him out the door and send him off school, and the Jeep across the street that's been sitting there all night goes boom. Unbelievable. No, obviously it wasn't on purpose. Obviously it was a big tragic mistake, but there's no coming back from that mistake. There's no coming back. So that's when every cop, RCMP and the provincial, how do they say that, Sortie de Quebec, and of course the Montreal cops themselves. Everybody got in on their own investigations all going, right? And they had everybody's phone, every fucking phone, and probably every phone in Montreal is probably tapped. They have goddamn warrants from here to Timbuktu, right? So, this Daniel Sorge guy, he wasn't a street cop. He wasn't a rookie. He was the intelligence cop. He was the biker cop. He was the organized crime cop. He was that guy. He was up there. And he had access to, everything, right? All the surveillance, all the informants, all the wiretaps, and all the tactical police movements, because they do some shit out there. Just for reactions, you know what I mean? It was brought up in my last court hearing how they were investigating 81 again. Unfortunately, those poor guys get investigated a lot up in Thunder Bay, and they found out where the safe spot was, and they went and took some so they could listen and tape all the fucking phone calls of the brothers calling each other going, hey, man, that thing's missing something. Hey, that thing's light. What's going on here? Hey, did you go grab something the other day? And it was all for that. They did it. So, they do their things when it's a big thing and they really want to target, man. There's not too much that they won't do during an investigation. I seen them take a photo up to one of my brother's old ladies. Yeah, my brother's old lady. And they showed her this photo of her old man going in with his arm around of some other broad into the clubhouse, right? Thankfully, we spoke to our old ladies prior to that happening, but they'll do what they can. So you want to talk? No. So, and I think a lot of the info that he passed on probably did get people hurt or worse, right? So, and the court, and so he got investigated by other cops, by other investigators. So they heard him. They heard him on a wiretap. As far as I can recall, on the Fifth Estate show, it was a wiretap got him. So, he was helping them avoid the arrests, identify the snitches, and stay out of the police. So it was for money. It was for nothing else. It was for money. It wasn't because he was friends with no one. And I think they had a camera on his office, and they caught, I'm almost pretty sure it was Mambouche himself, coming into the man's office late at night to hang out with him. So they weren't even really all that fucking covert and smart about it, really. So, so at the height of the biker wars, old man Boucher, he was paranoid. Everyone was a rat in his eyes, or potential rat. There's a lot of them guys disappeared during that time. You know what I mean? Kind of like how the mafia goes when after something bad happens, they do a cleanup and there's a whole bunch of guys just go missing. So it's sort of the same deal, right? And somehow they always seem to be a step ahead of the cops. And they always seem to be, if this place is getting raided, all of a sudden the place had nothing in it. If that guy's phone was hot, all of a sudden he had a new number, but they track down numbers real quick when they want to. So operations will collapse, raids would turn up nothing, targets vanish hours before the arrest. Inside police circles, the suspicions began to grow. Someone was leaking. And the closer investigators looked, the closer they looked at Daniel Sorge. He wasn't an angel. He certainly wasn't, but he was more valuable than any foot soldier. He was a fucking insider, man. The insider. So finally in about 2000, they got the handcuffs on Mom. And that was pretty much his last turn. He was getting pretty good at it. He was starting to remind people of John Gotti back in the day. But the problem is, the more you stick your finger in the cop's eyes, the more times they come after you, and they get better at it. And they can take as many fucking times as they want. You can only fuck up once. That's how it goes. That's how I was taught. That's how I was taught to always think when you're in the business. So mom got arrested. The man who symbolized the Quebec biker war, the architect of the bombings and the murders, is finally in custody. For police, it was a victory. For the Angels, it was a shock. And for Daniel Sorge, it was the beginning of the end. Because once Boucher was arrested, the pressure to clean house inside law enforcement exploded. Internal affairs intensified. Past leaks were re-examined, and Sorge's name came up over and over again. He was under investigation, and he knew it. So Daniel Sorge wasn't publicly charged. And in fact, I don't remember his name hitting the papers until they found him, by his own hand in his office. So internally, he was finished. So his career was over. His reputation was shot, and his secrets were out there. So, like I say, they got him. They had him on wires. There's nothing he was going to get away around it. There's no way he was going to talk his way out of it. And he couldn't even just retire and slip into the background. At that point, he'd done too much. So he faced criminal charges, possibly prison, and 100% of public disgrace. And unlike the street criminals he helped, he had nowhere to hide. He wasn't protected by a patch. He wasn't protected by silence. He was alone, wasn't he? The thin blue line won't take you back, I don't think, usually after you cross it. So in 2001, he, like I say, he ended him with himself. So he avoided the trial. He avoided the courtroom. He had avoided the public scrutiny. And everything else, he just ended it all. And that was it. But the problem is now there's lots and lots of unanswered questions. Like, how did this start? How did it get together? Who put this together? Like, how did one person contact the other one? Like, nobody. Like, how the fuck did it go, right? So how long was it going on? Who exactly did he help? Was there other groups that he helped as well? And how many people that didn't make it through that war were because of what he put out there? So that's the thing. Nobody will ever know. He's the only guy that might know. He's gone now. The other guy ain't talking. So that was it. So that was, the Sorge case shattered public trust. If a police officer embedded in organized crime investigations could secretly assist the Hells Angels, who else might have been compromised? The biker war wasn't just a failure of criminal justice, it was a failure of institutions. And Sorge became a symbol of that failure, a reminder that corruption doesn't always wear leather, sometimes it wears a badge. So the Quebec Biker War is remembered for blood and bombs, but its most disturbing stories aren't always about bikers. Sometimes the most dangerous players are the ones sworn to stop them. And this was the story of Daniel Sorge, a cop who chose the Hells Angels and paid the ultimate price. So that's how I wrote that one. Hope you guys like that one. I'm getting better at these stories. I do like them. And it's fun. But yeah, man, I remember all that shit. Like I say, it was big enough news that the Fifth Estate did a whole story about it. Get back in the comments here for a bit. Yeah, it's Canada. Winter shit. It still sucks monkey balls. It won't change. It'll be back next year. You know what I'm saying? It'll be back next year. Hey, thanks, Bruce. I appreciate that, man. BC, been great winter. No snowpack. Could be a nasty fire season. Yeah, man. They need some fucking snow down there. BC will be burning by fucking April, bro. That sucks, eh? I hate seeing those pictures of those mountains on fire. It's fucking devastating, man. Does anyone know the meaning with the crown beside our names? Where is that? I'm outside partying. I can't hear you, but I can see you. That brought more law attention than with how John Gotti brought it in New York City. Yeah, man. And it brought a lot of guys who, after he was in custody, that's when the club had enough of him, right? He got all those other people in jail and follow his orders, or your wife wondered where you went and whatever, right? So it was a pretty wild ride for even guys inside the club at that time, from what I've been led to understand. Yeah. Yeah, pigs are dirty. Fuck yeah. He must have been getting paid a great deal of money for that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we got Road Dog in the house. Good to see you, Road Dog. All cops are bastards. You got that one right. Oh, Merta. Yeah, they all say it till they get there. Nomadic. How are you, brother? Good to see you. You needed to be. Yeah, man. Craig. Hi. Hey, Craig Russo. Good to see you, my brother. Always a pleasure, man. And Edgy Wine, good to see you too, bro. Thanks for popping in. Yep, don't fear the leaders, fear the suits. Gritty weirdos. What the hell? Super Bowl like watching paint dry. Is that bad, eh? I didn't even bother to pull it up on the PC or fucking nothing. Couldn't care less. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Gotti Fireworks Show was the best years back in NYC. Well, I bet you absolutely the neighborhoods enjoyed it, right? The cops didn't like it. And we got our buddy from Dirty Dog Apparel in the house also. Good to see you tonight, bro. Let me know if you're calling me a little bit later. Hope we got time. Hope you found our buddy. If not, we'll figure it out through the week. I'm always around. And so yeah, I'm sure we all knew that story. I figured it wasn't a bad story to share after the thing with the Toronto cops. And like a few guys in the chat have said, and I tend to believe it, it's probably not done yet. If it was a 2-year investigation and it involved a JFO, which it did, there could be a lot more coming up on the back burner. Maybe even club-wise also. We don't know, right? And I haven't heard any updates on Oshawa today. So it must be all quiet on the Oshawa front. Good to know. Good to hear, actually. But I really hope that this thing can go down with maybe a couple of fisticuffs, because, someone's going to get smacked somewhere, somehow along the way. Maybe a couple of things, maybe catch fire. And maybe learn to live with each other or look the other way or whatever the fuck is. But we all know how bikers, I was one. It's generally just not the way it goes in the biker world. And I don't think I don't think that'll be changing anytime soon, unfortunately. But yeah. So who is winning the game? We'll do a quick one. Who's winning the game? Should I try watching it? I think you can usually get on the fucking computer somewhere, can't you? Super Bowl. And then we'll sign this thing off. Let you guys get back to your night. And yeah, Super Bowl. 9-0 Seattle. Well, there you go. Oh, it's in the fourth, eh? Just the fourth is just starting. That's not much of a lead when you still got a whole quarter of football to play. Fucking field goal and a touchdown, and you go home the winner. Must have been a whole defensive thing. Oh, that would have been boring like paint dry. It sucks when the Super Bowl is a fucking boring game, doesn't it? Or when it's a fucking massive blowout and the one team should have just stayed the fuck home or something. Probably why I gave up on watching all this shit. Was he paranoid enough? Yeah, exactly, eh? Was he paranoid enough? Well, that's the thing, man. Once you get those balls rolling, you can't unroll them, right? You know what I mean? Once those balls are rolling, you can't unroll them. You can't pull it back. Can't say, oh, fuck, okay, we're cool. It doesn't go like that. It sees itself out until its end, which is, the ground or orange. Those are your choices. And he couldn't even put down his shit and say, hey, can I transfer to Arizona for a fucking while? You know what I mean? None of those things were options for him. He had to see it until its end. So, yeah, was he paranoid enough? That's a good question. Good night, Craig. You have a great night, brother. Thanks for popping in, man. I always appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah, and Fish Lips. Yeah, he's from Oshawa. Well, the one guy's, see, and who knows, right? Because it's people talk different terminology. So when I saw that Harley video I was talking about yesterday, he said someone bust his window. Okay, that happens. It could even happen by the other crew. Who knows, right? Who knows, right? Probably did. It would make sense. I would pretty much agree with that. And he said he was putting in brick-proof windows, which I know is a thing because they have them at the liquor stores and beer stores out in the countries. How do I know? I might have thrown a brick against a window once in my life when I was younger, okay? It don't work. But then I saw somewhere else in a comment that he was putting in bulletproof glass. Well, you ever seen bulletproof glass like in real life? It's fucking huge. It's like thick, depending on what kind of things you want it to stop. So the thing I saw laying on the floor wasn't that. And then, of course, the other things I don't know about because I'm not from Oshawa, so I don't know where the Red Devils clubhouse is and if that's indeed the house that burnt down that night. I didn't say it got burned, but it's being investigated. And there had been a shooting on that same address some weeks before that. Now I don't know if that means that somebody blasted out the house or somebody was in the house and whatever, right? So it just said a shooting or gunshots or something like that at the same address a couple weeks prior. So, and that was that I dug out of the old Google machine myself. I didn't even have to watch fucking Goofy Bernstein to see it. You know what I mean? But the other thing about the commercial building, I got that out too, and I don't know if it's connected. Maybe yes, maybe no. We'll find out. It'll always come out in the wash. And when we do, we'll talk about it. It's what we do. You know what I mean? Thank you for that, Grant. Thank you for that great show. I appreciate those words. Make sure you guys hit that like button on the way out. We're going to give this one a roll through the chat, and then we're going to sign her off. Soft White Underbelly podcast just had George Christie on interview. Huh. Interesting, eh? Sometimes I don't mind hearing George talk. Sometimes, he's not bad. They got a whole half yet. Oh, they got a whole half. Oh, okay. I thought that thing I had pulled up looked like it was only a fourth quarter to go. Holy fuck, it's gonna be a late game tonight, eh? I think there's layer stuff now. There's the proof. Yeah. Well, that's interesting that somebody said, I didn't read that one, that Kevin said, as many as 30 coppers are being charged. That's interesting, right? Let's see it go down. I bet you it will. It'll be interesting because there's always more stuff going on, right? Yep. Yep. It'll be good. And Peel's one of those cop stations, and like I say, they pride themselves at being unbreakable. So it'll be good to see them guys have to get humble once in a while, right? Everyone needs to be humble once in a while, I think. hey, Randy, good to see you tonight, bro. Unfortunately, though, bro, I'm just wrapping her down, man. But thanks for popping in, man. I do appreciate you. See you later, Dahlia. Dahlia? Yes. That's what I'm going to call you. See you later. Thanks for popping in. I do appreciate you guys. Scrap Iron's in the house. Beautiful bike, by the way, Scrap Iron. I love orange. I love me an orange bike. Or a blue bike, or a black bike, or a purple bike. Maybe I just like motorcycles. Yeah, man, get yourself up on 2 wheels this summer, Kurt. We'll go for a ride, bro. That's what it's at. That's what it's at. We'll go for a fucking ride, bro. Hey, thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that. Like I say, guys, go check out Dirty Dog Apparel on YouTube and hit the sub button for our friend and hit the like button on your way out of this one. And I'm going to let everyone go. I'm still not going to watch the second half. I'll hear about it in the morning, and we'll get to hear what everybody on the internet saying about the different halftime shows. Till then, guys, stay warm out there, please. Stay safe. Much love and respect. See you tomorrow. Good night.
Biker News Canada, where the truth hits harder than the highway wind. From Ontario to the coast, Bob Javi rolls in. Let the real news begin. He's got the camera ready, catching sparks from every ride. Club stories, charity runs, every heartbeat of the biker tribe. So smash that like, share, follow, let the whole country